So now we will be starting with this amazing lesson, that is the Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. Now, Frederick Forsyth is an English author and he is also an occasional political commentator. He is best known for his thrillers. The story. Now, this is about the narrator. Now, the narrator over here is also the author. Okay, so it's written in the first person narrative, right? So, the speaker or the narrator or the author, whatever you call, was traveling on his old Dakota. So, he was flying his old Dakota. That's an this aeroplane. He was flying from where to where? From France to England to meet his family and have a good breakfast, English breakfast with his family. So he did not want to miss that chance. That was his desire, and with hope in his mind, he was flying his old Dakota. Now he calls the Paris control room to inform that he's going to England. As per their reply, when he connected with the Paris control room, so they replied, they instructed him to turn the plane 12-degree west. So while he was flying, everything was completely smooth. He saw the clouds after flying 150 kilometers. So already he had left Paris far behind, and the clouds were now started to become monstrous. Initially, when he started flying, everything was fine. He could see the clear sky filled with stars, and he could also see the city of Paris below. The narrator was also enjoying his feeling of flying above and sky absolutely clear. And he was also having the hope of happiness because of the hope of joining his family, spending his vacation in England. So all these together led to his happiness. Suddenly what happened is the cloud became monstrous, and the speaker, he started to lose control, and also everything got disconnected. His compass stopped working. The connection with the Paris control room was also lost. He started to see huge storm clouds before him, and he was stuck in the storm. Okay, but yes, he wanted to. You can see over here that he already had left Paris far behind, and moreover, he also wanted to. He was too eagerly waiting. He had this, hope, and he was dreaming of almost meeting his family, right? So all these thoughts actually made him think that I'm not going to go back, right? I'm going to move. I'm going to fly through the storm clouds, even though it was huge risk, right? So because of the great storm and the kind of turbulence that he was facing, he was completely rotating, he was completely twisting and turning in his plane because of the constant turbulence that he was facing. Next, what happens is, inside the clouds, he could not see anything because it was dark and stormy, right? It was pitch black. When he took out his compass to check the directions, he also saw that his compass had completely stopped working. The speaker also lost his connection. He tried to connect with the Paris control room, but he completely lost his connection. So therefore, he became devastated, and he also was in a very terrible position. He was in a crisis position, and I would like to remind all of you that this position of crisis is almost equivalent to the first story that we read, right? And to remind you again, this is a similarity, since the title itself says two stories about flying, right? So both the stories are about flight. One is about the seagull's first flight, and the next is about this narrator who was flying his old Dakota, and it is about the black aeroplane, which is still now, which has not yet come, right? So let's see what is the story with the black aeroplane. Okay. So remember, in the first story, the young seagull, when he actually took his first leap, first plunge, what happened was he was completely going down. So that was his crisis position, right? But how did he overcome that was a message, actually conveyed a message to all the readers. Similarly, here also we are seeing that the narrator is in a position of crisis, right? He became hopeless, he became helpless. Just then, when the speaker thought his life came to an end, yes, of course, try to empathize with him, try to put yourself in his place and think if you are faced with a similar situation, obviously you would be terrified, right? So he also thought that my life is now going to end. But then, at that very moment, he spotted a black aeroplane which was flying next to him. Now, this was quite a mysterious event for the narrator. Why? First of all, from where did this aeroplane come in this huge storm? Suddenly, out of nowhere, from where did this aeroplane come, right? So that was the first mysterious event that took place. The second was the fact that the black aeroplane did not have any light on its wings. Right. This was the second mysterious event. Then what happened? The pilot of the black aeroplane waved to the speaker, that is the narrator, okay, and he asked him to follow the black aeroplane. Now, this man, this narrator, was stuck in a very difficult situation. He is unable to, cross the storm alone. He is not in that position. He was terrified, right? He was in a crisis situation. So at that point, he really needed a companion because he was all alone. And when you are all alone in a difficult situation, you actually become anxious, you actually become too terrified, right? Your mind stops working. So at that time, if you get someone's support, get a helping hand out of get a helping hand from someone, obviously you would hold the person's hand, right? So what happened same was with the narrator. The speaker obediently followed the black aeroplane. And another mysterious event that happened with him was the fact that he realized that he had only fuel left for 10 to 15 minutes. NASA 557, contact tower. But he flew for half an hour. How was that possible? That is again a very mysterious event, right? And finally, after an hour still flying through the clouds, Dakota shifted to its last gas tank. That means he was losing his fuel, right? The speaker was again frightened. Suddenly, he came out of the clouds. And after flying through the clouds, he suddenly came out of the clouds because now he was thinking that I'm going to lose my life because my fuel is also over, right? And when he came out of the clouds, he saw two straight lines in front of him. What was that? It was the runway. Now, what's a runway? All of you know, I believe, that it is a place where the planes land and from where the planes take off, right? Finally, he landed on the runway. Now, after landing in the runway, he went straight away to the woman in the control room because he wanted to thank the pilot of the black narrator. After all, it was because of him that his life is saved, right? So he wanted to show his gratitude. He wanted to thank that narrator. But when he went there, first of all, he did not see any black aeroplane there. Then he moved to the woman of the control room and he asked her regarding the black aeroplane. But the lady said there was no aeroplane. In the radar, I could see only one plane and that was yours. Now the speaker was extremely puzzled. He did not know who helped him. Right. So the question still remains, who actually helped the narrator? The very title, The Black Aeroplane, it actually gives us an air of, it lends an air of mystery around us. What black aeroplane? First of all, the color black is itself surrounded by something mysterious, right? So, whenever we read the title, The Black Aeroplane, we are almost curious to know about what is all about the black aeroplane, right? So, the entire story revolves around this mysterious event, that who was the other pilot, and till the end, the mystery is not solved. And the story remains open ended, open to your interpretation. Okay. And yes, you need to talk about what are the events that happened, right, when he was flying from from France to England. Initially, the clouds were absolutely clear, but suddenly there was huge storm, huge mountains of black clouds started to be, visible to the narrator, and he lost all his control. So at that point of time, there was a mysterious event that took place. I told you about the mysterious event. First event was out of nowhere. Suddenly, a black aeroplane emerged. Second is it did not have any lights on its wings. Third is the pilot asked him to follow, right? And he had no other choice but follow. Next is when he was almost flying through the clouds, he realized that he had fuel only left for 10 to 15 minutes of flight. However, he flew for half an hour. That is also another mystery, right? And then he landed safely. And then when he tried to show his gratitude to the person who helped him in flying through the clouds, he did not see any black aeroplane landed over there. And then, out of his curiosity, he went and asked the woman in the control room, and she also looked at the narrator strangely. What is he talking about? There was no other plane other than the narrator's plane in the radar. So that all these elements contribute to the story being a mystery. So I hope you enjoyed this session and now your doubts are absolutely clear. Please do comment, and please don't forget to hit the like button and do subscribe to this channel so that we can try our best to solve all your doubts, try our best to solve all your problems, and you face no other problem, and your entire preparation for the board exam is complete. So yes, if you want to do that, please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. See you again in the next session.